Welcome to the Embassy of Sweden's new seminar series, Rethink Tomorrow, which brings together creators, thinkers, and experts to discuss critical global issues, from equality to sustainability to democracy, and explore creative ways to build a better future.
Okay, so if I move around and I show you where I'm located, you can see part of the bay. A little further out, you can see Alcatraz. It's actually a beautiful day in San Francisco.
So here's my studio and my office. And it's not that big actually, but it's only me working here, so it works for me.
And so this is where I work. It's a very comfortable office. I designed this table, which you can see here. And it has these nice drawers that are integrated there with materials. And I typically have projects there. I have natural materials, things that I find in nature. I have some little prototypes of projects like with Herman Miller that I work on. And then I have other prototypes here and sketches. This is usually what it takes to do a project. Hundreds and hundreds of sketches, mock-ups. This is for Proteus with Fabien Cousteau. And then you have a good area for books and references. The One Up Upper Child. This is the bill that it was on, and the One Up Upper Child was on the bill in Rwanda. And then I also can read. This is a Luigi Colani couch that I've had for almost 20 years, I think. Sometimes this is a little area where I also meditate at times in the morning. It's the office is a good place to get away from the kids and the noise of the house.
So here is where I do all my sketches. Actually right now working on updating a carpet for a Swedish producer, Asplund. Here was the carpet I did for the National Museum of Art in Stockholm. And here is my Friday for Future sign. I usually strike every Friday, but now it's online. And I think that's a pretty positive saying. We designed the system and now we can redesign it. And here is a photo of me and one of my sisters. I'm grown up on a farm on the Swedish west coast. Here is a sofa bench I did a few years ago called Greta. And here is what's in it. So it's wood, birch, and it's glow. And the paint is pigment, flax oil, water, and not used egg, but eggs that are old, so they send them back to the store. And why do I show you this? Because it's very important what's in the furniture. So on furniture, the thing that emits most is materials. You can see here. So here is all the materials that I usually work with. So this is the first group. It's 0.1 till 0.3 kilo CO2 equivalent per kilo material. And that's for hardwood and softwood. And the second group is 1 kilo to 3 kilo CO2 equivalent per kilo material. And that's cotton, plastic, chipboard, and recycled aluminum. The third group is 3 to 10 kilos, and it's virgin aluminum, steel, and flax. And the last group is 10 to 30 kilos carbon emissions per kilo material, and that's wood and leather. The interesting thing with this ranking is that leather is actually 300 times more emissions than the birch. So that's really good to know.
You know, sustainability has been a very important part of our practice, especially when at this larger scale. The small decisions you can make at the scale when you make hundreds of thousands of millions of products have a huge impact down the line. So for example, you know, a few years ago, we worked with Puma and we redesigned the shoebox, and this uses no paints. It's a recycled PET material, and the whole sort of system is extremely efficient. It's a very thin piece of cardboard. There is no other elements. This little fin separates the shoes. But when we ran the analysis, both in Germany and in the US, the first concept we have used an egg crate-like material, like Emma showed some eggs in an egg crate just minutes ago. And it turns out the egg crate material was 50% more energy because it has to be pressed and made versus using this very low grade, very, very thin recycled cardboard, which is then made structural by the bag, by the clever little bag here. And so these types of analysis allow you as a designer to not fool yourself saying, oh, you know, I'm using this material, but and this material seems to be more energy efficient or more sustainable. And I think it's very important for us to turn back some of our designs, some of our work to sustainability audits, which are conducted scientifically. And it allows us to make the right decisions moving forward, and the manufacturers that we work with as well. For example, the sail chair, which I'm seated on here, you can see it here, was audited cradle to cradle in order to manufacture it at both quite affordable price, but also for Herman Miller to be able to produce it locally on 3 different continents and do it in a very efficient manner with about 50% less carbon footprint as other chairs in the office chair market, task chair market. These types of long and deep analysis are I would say quite challenging for just a design studio to do, and you always want an independent look at your work so that you're not the designer and the judge of your own work. So sustainability is really assessed scientifically.
Half of the CO2 emissions, you must have lost a lot when you did that type of design. Lower the carbon emissions when you did with a lot of air in it instead of a full seat.
Instead of a full back, yes. So the innovation of the design was to think about the way bridges are constructed. And I just showed you, not far from here is the Golden Gate Bridge. So it was a great inspiration in efficiency of materials. When you think about a bridge, it's a couple of pillars, it's cables that connect these pillars, and there isn't, the structure is just very, very efficient. And so I thought about in similar ways how to support the body ergonomically, of course, support the weight, and chairs have to go all the way to 300 pounds, 150 kilos. And how do you do that in the most efficient ways possible? And so the bridge construction was an idea. There's a center spine in the middle, and then the suspended material is just a sheet of injection molded elastomer, as you can see here. So it's very much a bridge-like structure, because the chair is, there's no foam, there's no back, there's no frame even around here, which actually has a tremendous advantage from a comfort standpoint, because the edges is usually what you feel. The edges is what the body feels, but without an edge, this is actually quite soft and comfortable all the way around. But if it wasn't, I have to say what was really important, that if it wasn't, if we didn't have the goal of having a very low carbon footprint on a task chair, which is a very complex product, from the very beginning, we would not have gotten there. So I think the initial intention, which is really what design is about, the word design is about intent. And if you have the right original intent, then as a designer, you can stack the right initiative, the right creative direction, the right audit and analysis of the work, and you can have that as a goal, as well as other goals, obviously, that the product is a success and that it's made and built in the right way.
I know they say that 80% of the sustainable choices are done on the sketch table.
I have a project here, which is a communication project, which are these glasses that I'm wearing right now. And these, we did with Boyu and Slat at the ocean cleanup. And then, this is a really interesting project because, how does an organization like the Ocean Cleanup that cleans the Pacific Garbage Patch, which is actually off the coast of San Francisco, but the organization of the Ocean Cleanup is based in Holland. And they have these large booms and this cleaning operation, and they collect plastic. And this is actually made out of 100% made out of that material. And so you can see maybe on the camera there how the material has different colors and tints. It goes from blues to dark blues, and recycling 100% of the material collected in the ocean into something that people can wear and feel like they are supporting the organization by wearing it, with the glasses, is really extraordinary. They actually are raising millions and millions of dollars, and when they sell out of these glasses, they will be able to clean the entire Pacific Garbage Patch based on the money collected here. So I think what I'm looking forward to is more projects that are fully circular, meaning the act of a remedial effort like the Ocean Cleanup, which solves a problem that is created by our throwaway plastic materials. Being able to have a circular story, one that says we're taking materials, these materials are not trash, they're valuable. We shouldn't put them in the ocean in the first place, but if they're in the ocean, let's use them to raise money in order to continue these efforts. Those are circular projects, and I, as a designer, I'm looking for more of these circular projects, which give people something useful, something to feel like they're advocating and supporting, through the storytelling that's being told through these glasses, but also something that is truly making a difference by cleaning the oceans.
I take a lot of my inspiration when it comes to lower my emission from one report that is called, I have to say it, exponential roadmap. And they just say that recirculation is one of the things that you really can lower the global emission. So I think that's really good. And the other thing is to choose materials with low carbon instead of with high carbon. And I think a series that I have made that is with very low carbon is some lamps for IKEA. So I have to go and get them then. I have one here. I will get both of them. So this is a lamp, and it's made of bamboo, both this type of glue bamboo and handcrafted. And then this is seagrass. And the interesting with this project was that we went to the factory in Vietnam and actually made taught them that we wanted to use much more of the material, in ugly material. So we could, instead of just using a very small part that they did before, we could now use, I don't actually remember the percentage, but much more than they did before. And it's not bleached that all other bamboo are. So it's a lot better for the environment. I have one more. It's hard to see actually, but we did a pattern that should allow different types of bamboo and different colors. And it's actually when they cut the bamboo, it's different colors on the outside to the inner part. Then it's air in the middle. And that took us a long time to get the people at the factory to understand that it was okay with the ugly parts. But the ugly part has the same quality as the ones that they think look perfect. I get the same problem with wood. People, they think they want it to look the same and the same stripes and everything. But that's not the way wood looks. It's very different.
We've lived in a society where everything has had to be perfect. And when you're a designer, the tendency is also towards that perfection, towards taking all the flaws out. But I think the philosophy of wabi-sabi and the philosophy of letting the natural materials express themselves more, hopefully is taking hold, is growing.
As I showed you before, and I actually have on my, do you see this? Yeah. But in general, and for IKEA, if you, I think it's interesting when they measure furniture, because they have they measure all the life cycles on all their furniture in total, and separate too. But the transport for the global transport freight is like 4%, I think. The material that is around 50 on all products, if you in average. So the choice of material is very important. So if you choose renewable or recycle, you can really lower the carbon emissions. I do with my friends every New Year's dinner. We have a carbon budget resolution every year, that we minimize our carbon yearly budget with 20% every year. And we have done that for like the last 5 years. And to count your carbon budget, I think that's a really good way to understand the CO2 emissions in real. And I think if you want to work with sustainability, I think it's good to really understand it, and that you're honest and do it yourself also. It's much easier way to understand it. And then pay more attention to materials and which materials are important.